Welcome to the Synectis webinar series. I'm gerontologist Susan Rogers with McNair Dallas Law. I'm moderating this presentation on aging in place. Aging in place means that you can stay in your home or apartment even as your health and medical needs change over time. Aging in place is easier than ever with available services and technology, but it does take some planning and consideration. You may be wondering, who is Synectis and what makes their advice valuable? Synectis is a group of Dallas area professionals collaborating to meet the needs of senior adults and their care partners. Collectively, we have over 130 years working with senior adults. You see our Synectis professionals on the screen now. You can connect with us at synectis.info. This is one of 7 presentations in this Aging in Place series. Today, we'll hear from Certified Financial Professional Jeff Kort with Munn & Morris Financial Advisors. Jeff will answer the question, does it make financial sense to age in place?
The question is, does it make financial sense to do that at that point? And that's an excellent question. And it's different for each person, and that's a reason for why someone should be researching and discussing with an advisor about what those costs look like and how much those costs might grow. But in the big picture, it's possible, certainly. Some will do it forever. You shared your aunt, I'll share my parents. I moved them into an independent apartment, not even a community, just an apartment house. And they said for as long as the two of them can do it on their own, they will. They have 4 hours a week, 4 hours a day, twice a week coming in to help them, and they're relatively independent. They use Uber or neighbors or friends to pick up stuff for them, and they have a relatively low cost for that. They're not having to worry about long-term care needs beyond that little bit of expense. So that helps, and they had a long-term care plan for it. On the other side, when one passes, they've said, I don't want to be alone, right? And so some folks say, I want to age in place while we're together, but not when I'm alone. So then a community might make sense. Well, my parents have already sold their house, usually the expensive asset, right? The most valuable asset. So they've saved those dollars, and hopefully folks will have done that to make sure there are dollars there for when we move into a community. But in reality, the difference between the price they're paying in rent versus the price they'll pay for that one will pay into a community is not dramatically different. So they're going to be in decent shape. The questions that we ask is, do we want to be doing this and taking care of ourselves? One of the reasons I moved my parents into an apartment, and their agreement and approval, right, that's an important discussion to have, was that they don't need to clean their bathroom anymore. They don't need to fix their bathroom anymore. They don't need to fix the kitchen anymore. So the apartment company can take care of that, and they can have cleaning services in. Those things have a bit of a cost to them, and that's helpful. But if they were still in their house, and they were 5 years ago and doing well with it, they were paying to have maintenance done on the home regularly. They were still liable and responsible for their property taxes and their insurance, even though they had paid for their mortgage and they own their house. There are still expenses associated with it. There are other expenses that we have. If we're in a home, we still have lawn keeping, we have gardening, we have cleaning the house, we have things like maintenance, and we see that working for folks for quite some time, and it's a real valuable space inside there. I would say to you that you need to make sure that you're computing what all the costs are of living in and maintaining here versus there, and what you bring in an apartment or in a community versus in your home. And there are different costs associated with those, and we can help folks budget for those. We can also help identify resources like folks to come in periodically, or and you change the labor rate from someone who's just cleaning, or someone who's just Ubering or providing transportation, or someone who is providing levels of care in the house, and those make a difference for what that cost is. And so that's where we do that break-even analysis, and we play it with the idea of how important is it to be where we are for us to decide whether we can stay financially in place in our home the way we want to.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel to watch the rest of our Aging in Place video series or find other helpful topics.